Imagine the Sahel region of Africa, an area plagued by armed groups and a pivotal route for drug trafficking. Amidst this backdrop, the United States had set its military footprint firmly in Niger, in the dusty city of Agadez. The establishment of this military base, a significant investment exceeding $100 million, was not for naught. Its primary purpose was to facilitate surveillance flights, a watchful eye in the sky, targeting armed groups that threatened the stability of the region. This base was more than just a collection of buildings and airstrips. It was a strategic move, a vital piece in the complex game of global military chess. This strategic positioning of U.S. forces in Niger was a significant move in the global military chessboard. However, the winds of change started blowing in July 2023. Niger, a country that had been under military rule since that time, began to pivot. A shift was observed, a turn away from the United States and Western powers and a lean towards Russia. This geopolitical maneuver was not without its share of turbulence. Military agreements that had once bonded Niger and the United States were abruptly suspended. The bonds that had been formed were severed, leaving a void that was quickly filled by Russia. With an open invitation extended, Russian military instructors began to make their presence known in Niger. But it wasn't just the government that wanted change. The people of Niger began to raise their voices, their chants echoing through the streets of the capital. They demanded the departure of U.S. troops, their protests a clear indicator of the shifting sentiments. It was a time of upheaval, a time of change. For years the United States had been a constant presence in Niger, their troops a symbol of Western influence. But now the tides were turning, the ties that had once bound these nations together were unraveling. The stage was set for a significant shift in the region's military alliances. A new era was dawning, one where the United States would no longer hold the same sway it once did. The future of Niger, and indeed the entire Sahel region, was poised on the brink of a new chapter. With the roll of the dice, the decision was made for the U.S. to withdraw its troops from Niger. This decision didn't come out of the blue, but rather as a result of Niger's pivot towards Russia and away from Western powers. The U.S. had established a military base in Agadez, costing over $100 million, primarily for surveillance flights aimed at armed groups in the Sahel region. As Niger, under military rule since July 2023, seeks to distance itself from post-colonial forces, the U.S. had no choice but to start preparations for withdrawal. This meant exploring alternative locations in West Africa for its operations. It's a strategic move, a chess game of sorts, where every decision can have far-reaching implications. Now let's consider these implications. The withdrawal of U.S. troops could lead to a power vacuum. Niger, like Mali and Burkina Faso, has turned to Russia for support, with Moscow providing military trainers and equipment. This shift could potentially change the security dynamics in the region, a region that is not only plagued by armed groups, but also serves as a key route for drug trafficking. The Sahel region has seen an alarming increase in cocaine seizures in recent years. With the U.S. military no longer present, it remains to be seen how this will be addressed, and who will step in to fill the void left by the U.S. forces. The departure of U.S. forces marks a significant change in the geopolitical landscape of the Sahel region. In the wake of this departure, questions linger about the future of Niger and the wider Sahel region. As Niger, like its neighbors Mali and Burkina Faso, pivots towards Russia, concerns are mounting about potential Russian military bases sprouting up in the region. This shift marks a significant change in the geopolitical landscape, one that could bring about a new era of power dynamics and alliances. Reflecting on the legacy of U.S. involvement in Niger, it's a tale of surveillance flights, joint operations, and training local forces. It's a narrative of a partnership aimed at combating the armed groups that plague the region and curtailing the drug trafficking routes that snake through the Sahel. Yet, it's also a story of a military presence that, for some, symbolized an undesirable vestige of post-colonial forces. As we look to the future, the Sahel region stands at a crossroads. The departure of U.S. troops from Niger could shape the region's security dynamics in ways yet unseen. Will this pivot towards Russia and away from Western powers bring stability or further turmoil? Only time will tell. As the sun sets on the U.S. military presence in Niger, a new era dawns with uncertainty and anticipation filling the Sahel air.